Oh, come Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday night edition to Into the Night with me, Sean Kelly, and it's going to be a crazy, crazy show tonight. I don't know, my computer is glitching in and out. Usually, I can connect my guest through Messenger, and it wouldn't let me go through. So I don't know, something's out there in the air tonight, and I don't know what in the hell it is. So if we get like booted off or something like that, I'm sorry, but well, I just wanted to welcome everybody again to the show. I have a good show tonight. I have a very good friend of mine, Tommy Miller. Oh my gosh, it is good to see you, my friend. Before I get introduced my guest, though, I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi. And I also like to thank Carnation for sponsoring my show. And also remember that I do have another show on Tuesday nights from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. on the same platform, UPRN Talk Radio. How was everybody's week? Mine was okay. I finally get back to go to work tomorrow. Yes, I get to go back to work. Man, I'll tell you what, being in the house for all that time, it just drove me nuts. But I got Friday, I went to see my GP, and you know what? I got a good, clean bill of health, so I'm doing okay. Um, but this Friday coming up, I got to go see the liver doctor. So I don't know, it's like never ending. I could do a show on what I think happened to me, but, hey, Squats, man, good to see you, pal. Thank you for stopping in. But without further ado, my guest tonight I've had on before. She is a very, very dear friend of mine. She's the host of her podcast, The Spirit Switchboard, and it's on Friday nights from 8 p.m. to, no, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on UPRN Talk Radio. We're going to discuss the paranormal tonight. And you know what, guys, before I get into the show, I'm going to do a whole month of June is going to be about paranormal. I just want to see where everything is going at with that because it is starting to get warm out, and there's going to be a lot of people who might want to start investigating. So I'm awesome to have her on. It was awesome for her to come on. She said sure she'd come on, but without further ado, the host of the Spirit Switchboard, my dear, dear friend, Kerrilynn Sellhorn. Welcome, Kerry. Good to see you.
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Couldn't be better. Now that I know that you're going to be spending an hour with me on the show tonight, we're just going to live it up, talk paranormal, and wherever it goes, it goes.
Excellent. I'm down.
Oh, so now we know that you're a paranormal investigator. What actually got you just into the paranormal? Hey, Contessa.
Hi, Contessa. Thanks for being here. So I was thinking about that a lot today because we chatted about me coming on the show on Friday. You had asked me on Friday to come on the show. And I've been
Yep.
thinking about that whole term about paranormal investigator and how there's so many different perspectives about what a paranormal investigator is. Lots of people have different opinions about defining paranormal investigator. And I don't like, I know that I do paranormal investigations, but I don't know if I call myself an investigator. Is that
You
bad? I
don't?
don't know. Well, I do, I
Yeah.
guess.
Why?
It's Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
I I think I'm becoming a better one. I think that's a more truthful answer for some of it because I don't know. We can have this discussion about what a paranormal investigator actually means, too, the
Could do
definition of
that.
it.
We could talk about anything you want about the paranormal. It
Because
just
I
is
think,
amazing.
like, I've gone to a lot of places where the intention, my intention has changed with investigations, right? So
Okay.
I've always been interested in the paranormal from the time I was very young. I was able to see, hear, feel, connect. Hi, Taryn. With the other side, I've always been able to. So that interest has always been there. Had weird experiences as a kid, weird experiences as a teenager. And I was a really young mom. Like, hi, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne.
I had like my first baby I had when I was 21, just before my 22nd birthday. So I was a mom, and then my kids were having experiences when they were younger. So I really didn't start doing investigations till maybe 15, 16 years ago, and then more so in the last 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And even more, like more and more and more, right? Over the last, for sure, the last 5, 6 years.
5 or 6 years. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the intention is different. The intention is different. Before it was just about having an experience, and more now it's more wanting to go to places that I'm really pulled to repeatedly to understand more than just what my intuitive senses are picking up, but having equipment validating what I'm picking up intuitively as well too. The intention and the methods have changed.
What was the group? What was your group like when you started? Did you form a group? Did you join a group
Nope.
at the beginning?
Nope. When I first came to Guelph, which was 25 years ago, um, I had a really hard time because I needed to not say that I was a medium. If I had just kept my mouth shut, I probably would have been more accepted. It wasn't. It's different now. So a lot of it was just on my own, and even still, I would say it's a small group of friends that I do investigations with, and a lot of public investigations that I organize to take people out. And
Okay.
then that's where I was thinking about the investigations and defining it, because when I take public groups out, you want them to have a good experience. And when I've taught intuitive development, I've taken people out to push the tools that I've taught them throughout the day to work. So we would go to a location after I would teach the intuitive development, and at the end of the day we would go somewhere, and then I would push them to use the tools that I've given them on an intuitive level. And
And how
then
did that
that,
work out?
great. It's a great way. And I think too, when you're in a group, it helps amp up the energy. It helps amp up the vibration when you're intuitively all connecting in at the same time. So that was a lot of fun. And where it's more now is, those public groups, and taking more of the tools, the paranormal investigative tools, and putting those to work, plus the intuition part.
So it kept you busy there for a while, huh?
Yeah, it still does. But I like taking the groups out, but in my head, it's about having an experience, not necessarily trying to have like a scholarly kind of approach to it, where I'm wanting the information and repeating the investigation continuously to understand what's going on in that space, the who, what,
Right.
when, where, why, how. It's more just a one-off experience, and you understand, like, not everybody's going to have a professional attitude because they're just learning and they're there to have the experience, which is fun. And then if I go on my own separate with my friends, my core group of friends that we investigate, there's no name to it. It's hey, are you free Saturday? Let's go.
Those are the good investigations. They really
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, I agree. And then we can be more rigid with our approach as well
Hmm.
too, right? a little more rigid than when I take a group of people out.
When you take the people out that you've taught intuitive stuff to, do you bring other people along who do have the equipment to get the verification that you have?
So the places that I would take them to, one place in particular, it was a museum. So they were very good about letting us do the tour room to room. I would help push them intuitively. And then we would check in with the tour guide at the museum and say, these are the things that we were picking up. So she would validate that way.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So then
Right.
after, it was me, it was me getting the equipment. so I've gathered a lot of equipment, and to be honest, like really starting to understand it more
Right.
now, yeah,
How
understanding
many
it more now.
people?
But I love
How
it.
many?
I love when the equipment is picking up stuff as we're picking up stuff at the same time.
Okay, which is cool. Um,
Very cool.
so, how many people would you take on? That open investigation.
Not a large amount of people.
Not a
10,
large.
maybe 10.
Now,
I don't think
you
we've done
being
more. Maybe I might have done, no, I don't think I've done 15, but if somebody was with me and want to correct me, I don't think I've done more than 15.
okay. Well,
Um,
would that not? Hello, Kim. Thank you for popping in. Um, now, with you being a sensitive and a medium, okay, was it real hard to deal with all the energies that you brought on this open investigation?
the energies of the people with me or the
Yep.
energies,
Yes.
um, no, I wouldn't say so. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
Sandy's in PEI when we were talking about provinces. She's in
Ah,
Prince Edward Island.
okay.
Hello, Eileen.
Arlene, welcome.
No, I get really excited for people to have an experience.
Okay.
Like, and I get excited when they're having an experience. So I didn't feel like it was too much energy or too big. I think everybody was, I don't know. I didn't find it too hard.
Okay. Because with me being a sensitive and taking people out on investigations, um, I didn't just take a bunch of newbies out all the time. You know what I mean? I
Mm,
always have my group there with me, and and there was a couple reasons why I brought my group with me is because you know I trusted my group when I had it. I trusted them. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I mean I could send them out on investigations when I wouldn't even have to be there, but just kind of like have a little bit of a protection. And I'm not talking energy protection or spiritual, but you know what I mean? Because you don't know what kind of people are out there that are going to go through with this. You know what I mean? And so I always like to have my group members go along with it. Um,
Right.
and it was great for me. Okay. And if there's any skeptics out there, I am not knocking you at all. I'm not. I'm being honest with you. But a lot of people at the beginning in 2006, when I started the group, um, there was a lot of skeptics back then, and
Skeptics
they
in the
really,
paranormal or skeptics
yeah,
about mediums
the
and sensitive?
paranormal,
Mm.
paranormal, and I would take them along, you know. And the first thing I told them straight out, I'm not here to change your mind. I just want you to experience what we
Yeah.
experience on investigations.
Yeah.
And usually, you know what? They would change their minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then for some, it to see that it's not, oh, that's changing as well too. But it's not this constant amount of things happening all the time either. There's gaps of time where there's nothing happening. People have a different opinion when they've been watching television shows of what they think it's actually going to be and then what the reality of it is.
What is
2006,
your what?
2007 was when I had my last babies, or 2005.
Okay,
2006, I had a 1-year-old, so I wasn't doing much of that then.
too many babies to take care of, but
Yes.
you know what?
Yes.
That's okay. That's okay.
They're beautiful adults now, all 4 of them. So now
Well,
I have more free time.
well, they got a beautiful mom. I mean, come
Hey,
on. You know
hey.
what I mean? Shit. Gotta give yourself some credit. They pop out of you. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. You're
And
welcome. I'm just
the kids are I waited for the kids to be older as well too. Like my oldest was 14, 15, 16 when I was starting to do this stuff full time. Like I really focused. It wasn't easy being a single mom and having the kids. So there was that focus before really taking on all of this because they needed to be in a good space. Thank you, Joanne.
definitely, Joanne. Definitely, absolutely, without no doubt. So what was okay? So what was it like taking your children out on an investigation with you
The kids
for
had
the first
fun.
time? Did they?
The kids have had fun. Um, yeah, the kids have had fun, and it was in an environment that was comfortable for me to bring them,
Okay.
not worried, and again in a smaller group. So it worked out well. They like the equipment. They're all sensitive. My kids are all sensitive as well too. So
Right.
and when you talk about having a team and there's that safety factor, my
Yeah.
kids, we all know each other, so we can toss that look. So, that look of, oh, this isn't good, or this, we need to change things up, and they understand. And when I was doing, I do a lot of public events. And so the kids, that was, like their first jobs were selling swag for me. I'll give you a percentage of however many t-shirts and hoodies you sell, right? So they were
Right.
up for that.
And this
Hi,
is what
Rhonda.
Contessa says your kids are lucky to have you as their mom. That is
Um,
so true, Contessa. It's true. It's true.
they've had
She is.
moments of not thinking that way, but
Oh, oh my God.
they tell me. For the most part, they tell
Oh,
me they're grateful.
oh my goodness. So back to the ghost shows on TV. What do you think of
Mm.
them?
Um. Well, I think because I know the background to some too, right? Uh, I still watch them. I think that there's something to learn. I'm grateful to the shows that are on because it's gotten the conversations happening. It's brought it to the forefront. I don't necessarily resonate with all of the ways that people approach things. So we don't have to feed any energy into that. If I'm not resonating with it, I just scroll past it, move past, turn the
Mhm.
channel, move past it. But I'm grateful for some of them for how they've brought the paranormal conversation more to the forefront.
Okay. Well, like when I started PPS, I started in 2006. And at that time, TAPS just came on.
Mm.
And so what I enjoyed about TAPS was when it first came out, um, was that they opened the door for people to start talking about their experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they
In
did. They
homes,
opened it up.
like that
Yes,
everyday people were having experiences.
exactly. And
My
then,
oldest son loved taps, loved it.
well,
He would like stand in front of the TV right before as it was coming on.
really, I don't
Loved
know.
it.
That's another show for me to comment on. Let's see what Taryn has to say.
I know.
Investigations with Kerrilynn are amazing, and she definitely enjoys when the people with her have it.
Thanks. Taryn,
Taryn,
I was thinking about
Taryn.
you. Taryn, yeah, Taryn, I was thinking about you today when um, I was thinking about the show tonight, and I was thinking about you and the investigation because I have every December, I do this thing, the first 12 days of December, I do the 12 days of giving on my Facebook public page. And so the first 12 days, I give away something or a discount to something. So I give away spots for investigations, spots for a seance at my house, just different stuff like that. And Saturday, this coming Saturday is the investigation at the Ireland House in Burlington, Ontario. So I gave away 4 spots to do an investigation with me there. And Taryn has been with me at the Ireland House, and Taryn had a great, like, it was crazy, the stuff that was happening with Taryn in the kitchen at the Ireland House when we went last year. It was a lot of fun.
Can you give us a little background, my people out there, about the Ireland House, please?
Okay, so I had to write some stuff down for you. So I was prepared for it.
Okay.
And Taryn, you can type out some of your stuff. We should probably have you. Do you want to come on? We should have you on. Okay, so the Ireland House was built by Joseph Ireland, who came from Bowes, Yorkshire, England. He purchased the land in 1820. And then he came and built his house between 1835 and 1837. And the Ireland family continued to own that house until 1985.
Oh,
So
wow.
generations and generations until 1985. And then the city of Burlington purchased it and turned it into a museum, and they've been restoring it. And 90% of the furniture and the artifacts that are in the house belong to the Ireland family. So like when you're touring around, the things that are there are all of those generations of that family. And
Okay.
I liked, so actually the last investigation I did, the one that Taryn was with me, my sister and my mom actually had come down to visit at the time. And my mom got to help investigate on that, at that trip to the Ireland House as well too. And yeah.
She had someone blowing on my neck and playing with my hair. We had the kitchen door popped open that led to the sitting room.
And it was like those old-fashioned latches, like you have to knock it up to pull it open, to knock it off the hatch. Like it popped right in front of our eyes. It popped wide open. It was wild. Just even the way that the information was coming through. Hi, Denise. Thanks for being
Denise.
here.
Yes, thank you for being here, Denise. Thank you.
Like Taryn, correct me if I'm sharing this wrong, because we were getting hits on different equipment, more than one piece of equipment, and it felt like one of the males from the Ireland family was talked about hair, and there was something like you had your hair. Taryn's hair is very long, and she had it up in a ponytail, and she let it down, and she could feel her hair being played with.
Okay.
I have a picture of my mom, and there's this big cloud, like a mist over my mom's head when she was doing the Estes method in the kitchen as well too.
So the lantern kept going off, and when I took my hair down, and it went crazy.
So we have a video of that as well too.
Okay. So what, I mean, is there like, because if you go to certain places, there's certain ghosts that people talk about. What were the spirits, the main spirits, or the main story of the spirits that haunted the place?
So the very first time that I went there, because I think I've been there 4 times now, I thought a lot would be residual, but the more you go, I think they're not. It's not all residual. I think that they're intelligent and wanting to interact, but it's not heavy.
Okay, so everything is happy. Taryn says, then doing the Estes method, I was directed upstairs, and the man's wife had long dark hair like mine. And the photos in the bedroom, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it was just the whole experience was really great.
I could understand why that light was flickering off there, Miss Taryn.
Yeah,
because
and
of the long hair.
the whole I feel like they like interacting with people. I mean, I don't. It could. It opens up the conversation with what energy do you bring to a location too. Are you going with the intent of just interacting, knowing their story, being respectful? Like I really
Right.
push that we're going into their home. They had that home for generations, all kinds of generations, right? Like
Right.
so we're there out of respect to be in the space and know more from them and hear more from them. And do they like the investigations? And I don't know what other experiences other groups have had. I just know that every time we go, they interact with us in a positive way.
That well, you know what that means because the energy that you bring along with the people that are in your group that come along with you, they feel relaxed. They know you're not gonna, call them out. They know that you're not going to scream and holler. There's a
Yeah.
place down in Trimway, Ohio called Prospect Place. And at the beginning, I think I went to that place like 8 times, and it just got to the point where they knew who I was, and they knew that I wasn't going to be a bad person. And we kind of like got together and got some really, really cool evidence. That's the same way up in Gettysburg, too. I've gone there so many times for so many years, especially down at the Saks Covered Bridge. It's like they know you and they're happy to
Well,
see
that
you.
yes, yes, I believe that. I believe that we can make friends with them.
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
Yes, that they get to know you, that whether it's your energy, your intention, the way that you ask questions, any of that stuff, right?
right.
Um,
But what's
I,
crazy though, think about it.
I
How
think they can
about
look forward to it.
some people, think because I know I've been to a lot of places, private
Yes.
places and stuff like that, and where the ghost, because ghosts can be mean to other ghosts,
Oh,
and
yes.
they can control the situation.
Yes. And
And
I've been to
during my last years of investigating, we did a lot of those. We get the phone call, and basically the ghosts that were like being bullied would do something to get the owner to call us to go to the house and see what was happening. Did you
mm,
understand that?
I did. So
I know.
Joanne Vetter, do you want to read her? I'll let
Okay.
you read it and I'll explain it.
I know spirit like to interact. Kerrilynn and her people were in a factory for quite a while. I was sitting on the sofa wishing in my head I could go home soon. Next thing, Kerrilynn came back and said she was booted up. Who booted you out? Joanne, who booted her out? The ghost or?
So Joanne has a factory here in Guelph, and she has been so gracious to let me go in and investigate. And each time we've had incredible stuff. And what I find interesting at Joanne's, I've had a few EVPs show up, but the visual stuff never shows up. Like it just doesn't show up for some reason. But we have a lot of personal experiences. Yeah, spirit told them that they were done and
Yeah.
that she was tired and that it was time for us to finish. But and we got chased down, like you could hear, we got rushed, you could hear the footsteps coming
Really?
right
Oh,
at us.
that's
It was the
cool.
first time that I have ever went, oh no, and kind of dashed dashed back. Okay, no, we're done, we need to tap out, because you could hear them coming right at us, boom 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 boom
Oh,
on
wow,
the
that's craziness, man. That's crazy. But that has
yeah.
happened to me a lot too. What other places, my dear, have you actually investigated, like the Ireland House? Well, first of all, before you answer that, is the Ireland House, is that a major attraction for paranormal groups in Canada to go to?
So I don't know if it's like across Canada. I know that quite a lot of paranormal groups have checked out the Ireland House or go to the Ireland House. Like you have to book your time in with them, and they're open to it. Um,
Are
some
they
of the
all
places,
nighters?
no,
No.
nope. No, they are not all-nighters. It's very, because it's a museum, they have museum staff with you, which I agree, but it also, you have to go with that being okay that some people may be talking. There's things that you're not going to have control over when you're trying to record, right? So
Right.
again, not having full control of having a very rigid, trying to test theories out and all that kind of stuff is hard when you have different people in the space that you don't have control over.
Right.
I'm trying to say that diplomatically, but
You diplomatically just say, tell them boys to shut up, go into the main hallway. So
oh,
we can
I
do it.
try.
Go
I
do it.
have these hoodies. I have hoodies and t-shirts that say "shush with love" on them, because that's what I try to say. Shush, 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 shush with love.
But
But not everybody listens.
but you know
So
what, sweetie? A lot of places here in the USA here, major places to go investigate. Usually they have somebody on board with you, but they do give the paranormal groups respect. You know what I mean? If they know,
mm,
hey, listen, and I'm talking, and it's not so much. There's some museums, but there's a lot of places that you know they 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 give you the respect. The people who work at that
that's
place, they give
good.
you the respect to do your thing. Yeah.
And I'm not saying all of them are like that. I just, yeah,
Have you ever
we
been
had
to the
some
United
talking the
States?
last time we were there. Yeah, we had some talking last time we were there, for
Hmm.
sure. Um,
Have you
so
ever been in the United States for an investigation?
so I haven't really. Um, I haven't really. I've been to David Oman's house in Benedict Canyon, Cielo Drive. I've been there. Uh,
Hmm.
was at the Whaley House that in Old Town San Francisco, but I didn't really
Okay.
investigate it.
Right. Is
Kind of
that the
around
chick that
it.
had all those rooms and stuff, all them halls?
Oh, that's the Winchester Mansion house.
Winchester Mansion. Okay.
I would love to do that. So here's the thing. I had a paranormal group uh, use me frequently when they were on investigations other places, but they would tap in, they would call me and I would be in Guelph and they would be wherever. Like I got a phone call from them once when they were in Colorado, and I just remote viewed for them, but I wasn't in the location
Right. So do you
physically.
do a lot of remote video, the viewing now?
Remote viewing a lot.
I do it too. I do. What's your opinion on remote viewing?
I love remote viewing.
And why is that, may I ask?
I use remote viewing a lot in sessions as well too. Like if the people are coming through, I have a structure that I like when I'm doing sessions, and part of that in that structure is getting them to show me where they hang out with my clients. So show me where they hang out. So
Okay.
describe what the house looks like or what the room layout is. Show me the space. And that just helps with the evidential information that's coming through, right? So I like that part of it.
Well, what do you think those paranormal groups that use you, wouldn't you
Hmm.
consider that cheating?
Hmm.
Cheating
And rude.
using you to and what?
And rude. How come you're in California and I'm in Guelph? How
Well, that's true. Well, I
come
wouldn't.
you're
Want, I hate.
going
I just. I despise California. But all I know is that I think for me doing an investigation, going anywhere, I'm going to go in cold. I don't want to know what's happening in the place. I want to see what I can
Yeah, so
pick
some
up
of
with
the phone
evidence.
calls like yeah, some of the phone calls I got were definitely when they were hitting a block.
A
Uh
block is. I'll tell you why they were hitting that block because they were counting on you to unblock it for them. And the spirits are saying, no, 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 dumbasses. You have to do this yourself. Excuse my language, you know? But no, you guys got to figure out who's here and who's not here. I, it really, now having a medium with me on an investigation, that's okay, right?
Mhm.
But if I have to call you up in Canada, say, "Hey, Carrie, what the hell's happening down here in this house?" It'd be like, "What the hell, Sean? Figure it out yourself."
Well, that's kind of what I said too. That's what I said too, because there was like it was waking me up in the middle of the night for me to tap in for them. But
Well, that ain't
I
right.
since then I haven't had to do that for them.
Well, that's good because anybody that has to go and call somebody half a world away or half the country away just so they know why are we being blocked. It's because you dumbasses, the spirits know you're not doing it right.
I
And
think I just stepped in a big pile of poo. I should have kept my mouth shut. I said that
oh
earlier.
no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Oh dear.
I call it as I see it, man. That's why people love my show. I call it as I see it.
Mm.
Just go up
Well,
and
I
do
mean,
it
it certainly
yourself.
caused a lot of tension for me too, right? Because
Oh, I bet. I
yeah,
bet. Oh
and
God.
why I tended to work by myself um after that too.
There's my girl, Cindy. It's about time you got your ass here in the room. I love her. That's my buddy. Cindy's followed me forever. I love her to death. She's great. But it's about
That's
time you got in here, honey. No excuses. I got my friend Kerrilynn here. She's a medium. She'll tell me all about the reason why you're late. No, I'm joking. But okay, so
So another place that I'm going to this year is the Princess Avenue Playhouse. It is a theater in St. Thomas, Ontario, and it used to be a church.
okay. So
So
what's the story? What's the background on the church?
okay, let's see if I wrote down all the information for you. It was built in 1907 as a church, and the Elgin Theatre Guild took over the building in 1987, and it's been run as a theater ever since. So they have a ghost that cusses.
Cool.
I know,
Cool.
I swear way too much too. I use a lot of salty words. Sometimes the salty words are like a bad habit now.
You know what? That's okay. You can salt all you want. My
So
my
I've
my
been
mouth isn't too pleasant either. Yeah.
I do this event called Love Life Afterlife. So I talk about share stories, what I've learned from doing sessions about what the other side is like and what the main themes are that people come through and share messages about. And then I give messages from the other side to the people that are in attendance, right? But with that theater in particular, they've allowed me afterwards to have a small number of VIP tickets. And so after the main gallery, the general ticket holders leave and the VIP people stay. And then we do an investigation of the theater. So I get to do an investigation again this year with the
Awesome.
people there. Yeah, and it's another location that the spirits always show up. Like I have been on stage with the headset on and can hear like disembodied voices of a man talking right beside me that was caught on audio when we recorded it.
So as Denise says, I always think salty is down to earth. Yeah, you're right about that one, Denise. It is
I would like
kind
to
of
think
like
I'm down to earth. I like to think that I'm
okay.
down to earth. But
What?
they have at the Elgin Theater, or sorry, at the Princess Avenue Theater, they have somebody that sits in the pews. Like the pews are the original pews, like the seats
Okay.
for the theater are the church pews. They have a tower. So there is a female figure that's seen in the tower. They believe is a former secretary of the church. I haven't had anything come up to validate that. That's just like the story other people have had through
Okay.
their experiences. A female figure, it's that typical ghostly lady in white, but with no head. So they can't see her head, they only see her body.
Oh, sweetness. Why don't you ask her to show her head? I've done that
Well,
before, and they have done that. They have done
really,
that for
eh?
me. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Things go missing, footsteps, child laughter. They have those sort of
Cool.
experiences. places. And I'm excited because I have more equipment this time, like than the last time I was there.
What's your favorite piece of equipment?
Me.
No, 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 that ain't working. We're talking. That ain't working.
Okay, so with the paranormal equipment, I like doing the Estes method. So I would say the SB11 using the spirit box. I really
Okay.
like doing. I really like doing that, and the dowsing rods. I use my dowsing rods quite a bit as well too. The tripwire is pretty fun. I
Okay.
like
Yeah, they're
tripwire.
not bad. They're not bad.
Yeah.
For me, it's a K2 meter and EVP. That's a digital voice recorder. That's all I need. All this
So
other stuff, I just can't afford that crap.
well, yeah, I don't have any big vices, and I've been single for a long time. So that was my birthday gift to me and my Christmas present to me.
There you go.
so,
There
so
you
that's
go.
how I ran that. Like once my kids were done or moving out of their education, paying for their education was almost done, then it was investing in things that brought me joy and things that I wanted to do. And so then
Cool.
I just started purchasing the equipment a little bit at a time.
5 more years for me, babe. I'm retiring, so I'll be doing
Oh,
that.
I
All
don't know
that
if
good
there'll be a
stuff.
retire date for me, but
Oh, I have one. That's 67 or 66, or I don't know, but it's coming up soon. If there was one place on your bucket list that you just want to go and
in Canada or
investigate
anywhere.
anywhere,
Mm,
and you got to spend the whole weekend there,
mm. Can I pick two?
yes, you can.
Okay. I'm greedy.
You're lucky.
Dawson City keeps coming up for me. So
Okay,
Dawson City. So I don't, and maybe you could come to Dawson City with me. It's gold
could
mining
do that.
history, right?
Yeah, you know it.
That's right.
I'll
So
be.
gold mining history and the Paris catacombs.
Oh, oh, that's sweet. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
We'd
I
have
don't
we have
mind
to bring a
tunnels and
French.
underground stuff.
Yeah,
There's just something about them that I'm drawn to. So
I mean, for me, we'd have to get a French interpreter because that's my question I want to ask you, and then I want to have a couple more because we have to get going here, getting close. But you go over. Look, so you go to France, right? And you go and you do an investigation. And you know when you're doing EVPs or you're doing the K2 session, whatever, or the Estes method, should you speak English or should you speak French to get a response?
mm,
Should you actually bring an interpreter with you, or do you think the people
maybe
who were French, what would you do in that situation? I
I
would
would
hire somebody.
I would do both, or I would have a translator on my phone, so you could do it with your phone where it would speak it out. Right? You can get an
Right,
app
to do that,
on your
yeah.
phone and do it.
Hmm.
I would do both.
You would do both.
hmm
Okay, maybe we can make that
I would
trip
do
to
both.
Dawson City, my friend. That would be really, really cool.
Don't you think Dawson City? I think City would be fun.
Hmm.
I've been thinking about it a lot for the last year. I was trying to
Uh,
coax my son that lives in Calgary. If I flew out to Calgary, let's get a vehicle and drive, but it would be 16-hour drive from
that's just too much. That's two
Calgary.
days. That's just like me going all the way
I'm
out to
a road
Montana.
tripper though.
That'd be like me from here going to Montana. You know, and I'd like to drive, but I'd have to pull over every 5 hours because I'm
I
getting
think
tired.
that's what my drive is going to. I'm going to drive. I'm going to be part of the Lake Superior Paranormal Convention this year in Thunder Bay,
Sweet.
and I'm going to
Oh, you
drive.
to
And
see
it's
Lori. You can go see Lori.
yeah, Laura Lee and I are going to meet for the first
Yeah,
time. So
damn.
Laura Lee is a fellow UPRN host. She has the Angel Rock on Mondays and the thing at the foot of the bed with her co-host David Hansel.
And she's a sweet lady. Please watch
Yeah,
her
I'm
show.
excited. I'm excited, but it's going to take about 16 hours to get there.
Oh, you'll be all right.
Yeah,
just
I'll
say,
stop
hey,
halfway and see my family in the zoo.
very good. That would
Hmm.
be great. So we got time for the one question, and I know that you do something which I think is intriguing, and that is having dinner with the spirit.
Yes.
Talk about it, please.
Okay. So I've done Dining with the Dead. I think it's 13 years this year, maybe 12. I think 13 this year. Originally, when I started doing it, the intention was I wanted to go to places that had like a history of hauntings to begin with. That's sort of changed as the years have gone by. Um, the guests purchased dinner tickets. They have dinner, dessert. We do a little bit of a break, and then I give messages for about an hour and a half to the guests that are there. Not everybody gets a reading, but it's it's entertaining, and then there's still all the messages that come through. Thank you, Jennifer.
Um, so there's a place down in Withfield, Virginia. It's called the Octagon House, and they do the same thing.
Oh, fun.
And but it's they give you a 7 course dinner, and you're actually sitting in a restaurant. It's all spread out. They've
Yeah.
got all kind of equipment all over the tables,
Oh,
and
fun.
oh my God, yeah, look it up. Honestly, the
So
Octagon House,
that's
and
something that I could elevate, the Dining with the Dead. I've never brought equipment with me as I've done it. I've always just shared. Like when people are eating their dinner, I sit away from them. And then
mhm.
I try to get all the people that are coming through in spirit sort of in a queue, and I write everybody out so that when I go back into the room when it's my time to give the messages, then I kind of have an idea of where I'm going. But it would be fun to bring equipment.
I mean, what
Thank you,
if I
Patty.
can make? Hey, Tony, good to see you, brother. Patty, thank you. She says dining with the dead is so much fun. That would maybe
Well,
I
at
can do
this
that in
at
5 years.
this point, all of the venues that I work out of put the tickets up for sale in January, and the whole year like sold out for all the venues for the year.
Sweet,
Mhm.
sweet. Well,
It's fun.
It's getting pretty close to the witching hour, my friend. Um, is there any other last? Oh, what would you say to a person who wants to start investigating? What would you tell them? What would you give? What advice would you give them?
Hmm. There's lots. Make sure that you have permission to go into the places that you're wanting to go. So that's one. To have somebody with them so they're not doing it solo. So again, that backup person. Um, what else would I say? Understand the equipment, which is what I'm learning now, and that you really don't need all of the equipment. You can um, do things old school, right?
That's the way
Compass.
to.
I like to,
That's how we did it.
yeah, do it old school.
Yep.
And a notebook. People forget to bring notebooks, and you need a notebook to write stuff down. Be
Right.
respectful. Yeah, being respectful. And just really
That is
understand
great.
your intention. Like really understand why you want to do it. And that I
That's
think
the
that
big
makes a big
question for
difference.
me, hon. That's the
Yeah.
big thing. Do you really, really want to do it? Because when I first started the group, real quick, a lot of people wanted to go investigate, and they come to find out it's so damn boring because you're sitting in a room talking to something that could not be there, and you're in the dark. They would rather go out and get drunk or do some dancing, you know what I
Mm.
mean, on a Saturday night instead of investigating. You really, really seriously need to have you really really want to do it. You need to want to do it because
So
it's not
I
for everybody.
I found uh I don't have to wait very long for activity to happen most times where I'm at normally.
Hmm. Right.
And so yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot too. And recently my friends and I went to a private residential place, and they we were told like most people don't get anything happening till between 11 and 1, but by 11 it was like
Yeah.
slowing down. It was happening before we were even in the house for us.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually for me, real quick. To me, the good time to investigate is between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. After that, the ghosts get tired of you.
Mm-hmm.
Kerrilynn, thank you so much for being on the show
Oh,
tonight.
I love hanging
Thank
out
you
with you.
for accept. I like hanging out with you too. Everybody, I hope everybody enjoyed Kerrilynn. Don't forget her show, Spirit Switchboard, is on Friday night, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time on UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi. And children, please, if you can, go to your. Thank you, Contessa. Thank you. Children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, go to your children and give them a hug and tell them that you love them. And if you don't have anybody, find someone and give them a hug and tell them that you love somebody. And this Tuesday coming up, I got my friend Sean Bowman of Bump in the Night Society. He's going to be coming on this Tuesday night, another good paranormal group here in Pittsburgh. So, everybody, I just want to say good night. Thank you for coming on and hope to see you sometime soon. And on
Good
that
night.
note, good night, everybody.